part of the reason that you are here today, and part of the reason that folks have been coming out all across the country is, let's face it, all across America, people are tired of George Bush. They are tired of this administration. They are tired of my cousin, Dick Cheney. We had been keeping this under wraps. Yeah, everybody's got a black sheep in the family.
A few years before she died, the famous American psychic Jean Dixon granted an interview to an Austrian journalist, during which she revealed some final details concerning the birth and ancestry of the so-called Antichrist, the prophesied charismatic leader of the coming world government. According to her visions, he would, on his mother's side, be of Davidic lineage, and his father's bloodline would be related to the ancient Egyptian pharaoh, Akhenaten. During the presidential campaign of 2008, information began circulating according to which Barack Obama was distantly related to George Bush and Dick Cheney, and even Bill Clinton, through his mother, Anne Dunham. She apparently was a descendant of an ancient bloodline to which an unusually large number of top American political leaders and presidents, past and present, as well as the royal houses of Europe, can trace their ancestry. This bloodline had its European roots in the famous Merovingian dynasty, named after Merovech, who was king of the Salian Franks during the first half of the 5th century AD. Under Merovech's leadership, the Salian Franks became the dominant Frankish tribe and founded an empire which reached its height during the reign of Charlemagne. The Merovingians formed alliances and intermarried with all the major royal houses of Europe. Another ancient legend claims that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were married, or were at least lovers, and that Mary was carrying their child at the time Jesus was crucified. Joseph of Arimathea, who was a successful merchant with connections throughout the Mediterranean area, became Magdalene's guardian and brought her to southern France to protect her and the child from the persecutions of the early Christian era. There, Mary bore a daughter who later married a prominent forefather of King Merovech. Details of the arguments supporting the alleged truth of this legend were published in 1982 in the best-selling book The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, and were later further popularized in the controversial book and film The Da Vinci Code. But what about Barack Obama's paternal bloodline? One of the president's great-grandfathers is said to have been a powerful leader of the Luo tribe, which moved into Kenya some 400 years ago. His grandfather was also a prominent tribal leader and one of the organizers of an insurrection against British rule in Kenya. This rare photo of him was taken in a British internment camp. He converted to Islam and took on the name Hussein, which was passed on through the generations and is the source for Barack Obama's middle name. Obama's father was a member of the Kenyan ruling class and descended from one of the most powerful of the North Central African tribes. Many members of the ruling classes of that region take pride in the tradition that they are of the same bloodline as the pharaohs of Egypt. There is apparently some truth in this. In February of 2008, at the height of the American presidential campaign, National Geographic magazine published a feature article which threw light on this very connection. Pharaoh Akhenaten in particular had a black African mother, the Nubian queen Tiye. Nubia occupied the territory which today is part of Sudan. In ancient times, the area was a southern province of the Egyptian Empire. Obama's paternal family are members of the Luo tribe. The Luo are a Nilotic people descended from pastoral nomads who migrated south from Sudan to the land around Lake Victoria near the end of the 15th century. The Luo can trace their ancestry back to several powerful ancient tribal families, which were part of the genetic admixture that included the Nubians of the Egyptian imperial era. So there seems to be a definite genetic connection between Barack Obama's paternal ancestors and the Pharaoh Akhenaten. It is in any case quite interesting when comparing a photo of Barack Obama with a bust of Akhenaten that one can't help but notice what would appear to be a remarkable family resemblance. Akhenaten is one of the cult figures prominent in various esoteric and elitist ideologies. It seems therefore to be no accident that an apparent descendant of Akhenaten's bloodline has been chosen to be the figurehead of the coming world government, just as Jean Dixon had predicted. In her famous book, My Life and Prophecies, which was first published in 1969, Mrs. Dixon gives some further details of the life and career of the world leader she interprets to be the Antichrist. She describes a vivid vision she experienced in February 1962.